Welcome back to the Crypto is Key conversation. As I stated yesterday in our video, this article from CNBC says Yellen says the economy is not in a recession despite GDP slump. So according to these key points, and this is the quote from her, when you look at the economy, job creation is continuing, household finances remaining strong, consumers are spending and businesses are growing. So the definition of being in a recession was 2 consecutive quarters of a decline in GDP. So that's what we've literally printed. But they're trying to spin this narrative and trying to change the definition of a recession. And it's like, okay, what's their agenda? What are they trying to do here? Watch a Guru had put up this tweet that was quite interesting. It says, fun fact, Wikipedia's quote recession definition page has been updated 22 times in the last 24 hours. So they put up this screenshot right here. It's like, oh my goodness, what the heck is going on? But despite, the talks of recessions and whether they're changing the definition, if whether we're really in a recession or not, the point is based on the information we have and the data that's come out, we are in a recession. The market still responded very positively. I mean, we're currently sitting at a 39 on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, currently up 7 points from yesterday. And we're still in this fear range, but no, we're up. That's some positivity. If we come over here and look at the market, we're up 0.5% here, sitting at $1.14 trillion market cap, and Bitcoin is sitting just under 24,000. And I want to see what the highest is. 24. What were we at? 24 hour. Yeah, so 24,163. So our crypto market responded very, very well to, the news and data that came out. So yeah, Bitcoin sitting at 23,924, Ethereum sitting at 1,725. Scrolling down here, XRP is now under Cardano and Binance USD sitting at just under 37 cents. Look at our 24-hour gainers. Bitcoin Gold 20.3%, Pancake Swap 11%, Chainlink 10.4%. So a little bit of gainers there, but this is some some positivity, especially with the big data and news that came out in regards of recession talks. Obviously, Jerome Powell and the Fed had increased they increased the rates. What was it, 75 basis points? And there's been more. I guess their dialogue and their communication, the way they're talking, is more taking a more dovish approach. From an ongoing process and moving forward. So it's kind of a waiting game to see, how they evaluate the markets, the next 2 months and moving forward from there. But as of now, the conversations that's been happening, on these platforms and on Twitter and, people that really analyze these markets, they've been saying they seem like Jerome Powell and the Fed are taking a more dovish approach. So this could be a lot more positivity and optimism that could be hitting our markets in general. I mean, as you can see, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are in the green as well. So throughout this video, there's not like I don't have anything in particular that I really want to focus on. It's kind of got to be a little bit of a bunch of different topics that I felt like was pertinent and important, and kind of what I wanted to bring up. And I wanted to start with this from Chico Crypto's Blockchain Leaks Twitter page here. If you haven't followed this gentleman, he puts up some great content talking about everything that's kind of going on within the crypto market and the industry in general. But he had recently uploaded a video on YouTube called Ethereum in Bed with the SEC. It says, quote, ETHgate exposed by XRP, question mark. So I want to give a big shout out to Chico Crypto because he did a great job kind of quickly covering some of the stuff as we talk about in the Ethereum Free Pass timeline, the ETHgate timeline that we came up with as a community. He does a great job of kind of putting this 11-minute video together of kind of how things have been pieced together in regards to the SEC's involvement with Ethereum and this whole ETHgate stuff. But I wanted to play just a quick segment in here in regards of Eleanor Terrett and covering Jay Clayton and William Hemmons' involvement in how they've kind of influenced the markets at the time. Let's take a listen in.
There is this. Eleanor Terrett, Fox Business News journalist who has been following the case, tweeted this regarding the latest SEC filings in the case. She tweeted this July 26. From the latest SEC filing, the speech was not binding SEC policy. That is a pronouncement of the commission itself. The commissioners appointed by the president with the Senate's advice and consent. I wonder which speech she is talking about. Well, she added a video of the head of the commission, SEC, Jay Clayton, saying this.
Bill Hinman recently outlined the approach we take to evaluate whether a digital asset is a security, and I encourage you to take a look at Bill's speech which is available on our website.
Former Commissioner Jay Clayton is telling people to look at Bill Hinman's speech in which he covers what is a security and what is not. The same speech in which he declares Ethereum is not a security.
We believe current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions.
So on one hand, the SEC is saying Bill's speech was not binding policy. Yet on the other hand, the former commissioner is saying that this was policy when he was leading the SEC. So there is a bit of a theory going around with the XRP army called ETHgate. The XRP army.
So I highly recommend you go in and show some love to Chico Crypto and Blockchain Leaks here. Watch that video. He does a great job of kind of breaking things down. Obviously, he doesn't have everything that we have, surfaced as a community and we continue to surface, but he covers, a lot of the major important, pivotal points within, this whole timeline that has been brought out by the XRP community. But just shout out for him to even putting this together, even showing some love to the community, because people that's in the XRP community have been putting in a lot of tireless work to surface all these wrongdoings that's been happening and trying to bring the fight to the SEC and these, I guess we can say the rest of their people or their party, trying to fulfill their agenda. We're trying to really stand up for our rights within this market and the rights of the space. Speaking of that, Crypto Eddie has put this up. It says, if we ever see the Hinman emails, the XRP community will destroy many careers with only the facts. I mean, and that is just 100% correct. I mean, we've been scrutinized, talked down to, shamed, hated by so many people within the crypto industry. And, there's been talks of XRP holders and the XRP community, has unfounded speculation, they're conspiracy theorists and all these things. But literally everything that's been surfacing has been from the people that are involved in their own words, from their own mouths, on documents, on video footage. It's just straight facts. So it's not like feelings and emotions just coming out. It's like the timeline is facts. It's undisputed facts at that. So shout out Crypto Eddie for bringing that up. And right here, I bet Gary Gensler and Clayton had no idea this would happen. Yeah, they didn't expect, Johnny Deaton and class action lawsuits, over 69,000, decentralized XRP community members coming together to stand up and fight the good fight. They didn't expect Jason Foster and Empower Oversight and all the other Twitter sleuths and YouTubers out there, Digital Asset Investor, Moon Lambo. I mean, all these people that came together to just spread information, retweet things, and surface stuff that we have been putting together as a community. It's crazy. This is absolutely huge. They didn't anticipate Johnny Deaton, just straight up. Right here, this is from Miles. I don't know how to say his name. Miles D says, who has the strongest community in crypto? A few initially came to mind. FTM, so Phantom, XRP, ADA, and Shiba Inu. So Johnny Deaton says, honestly, Miles, it's not even close. XRP, I have 69,000 reasons why. Absolutely. And Tim says, XRP Army, XRP community, always here and always band together for the future of all crypto. And that's a great response there, because yes, a lot of us that are in the XRP community have, investments in XRP, right? So obviously we want the success and welfare of our portfolios to do well, obviously. But, obviously we value Ripple, the company, XRP's use case and utility. We value all those things, right? But we've seen the writing on the wall, and we've seen the agenda that Gary Gensler, Jay Clayton, and the SEC and them, are trying to spin and trying to create from the beginning. We saw somewhere down the line they were going to use this case as a sense of setting precedents and leverage on the entire market, trying to stranglehold the entire market. So it is. We are here for the future of all crypto. We want the success for all digital assets. The ones that especially have, that aren't doing wrong, that aren't trying to scam or rug pull, that really have real utility, real world use case, and solving a real world problem. And that can be innovative and bring health and wellness to the entire industry, to our everyday lives. We're here for the future of all crypto. And it's crazy that we're now starting to see, people that have influence and that can truly make an impact, whether they're in government or they have money or are part of certain agencies or whatever cases. We finally starting to get the attention, and I wouldn't even say support yet, but we're starting to get the recognition and attention as like, hey, we've been screaming from the rooftops, over a year and a half, like, there's something wrong here. We need investigations. We need support. We need help. They're coming after everybody. But now that the SEC and Gary Gensler are now starting to go after all these platforms and all these other digital assets, now people are kind of starting to shake like, oh, okay, well, we need to do something. It's like, we've been here. Let's go. Moving on, this is from Digital's Perspectives. It says, so Ripple continues to buy back XRP off secondary market. They state they are solely engaged in selling to the ODL related businesses only. Question, where will retail exchanges get XRP? Question, how long will it take to run out? And what will the price be when it does? Retweet. There's been a lot of speculation and a lot of conversations that's been happening in regards of, what happens when there isn't enough, when there isn't enough, we'll say reserves, or there's not enough XRP on the exchanges for people to buy. It's like, what happens at that point? What happens when, this lawsuit's over and Ripple wins and XRP and, ODL, XRPL, everything's, we have the new financial system running and they're, whether XRP is handling all the money or not. Like, what happens when all that's, rolling and there is a so-called liquidity crisis or whatever they call it? Like, where does that figure? That Valhalla Capital video that has been going around like crazy talking about XRP at 10,000, 35,000, 50,000. Like, does that make those numbers a reality? Quite interesting. This is from Johnny Deaton. And there's this tweet thread here is super, super crazy. I highly recommend that you come in, click on Digital Asset Investors tweet here and just kind of review all the stuff that's been posted here. But we're going to cover a few things here. Johnny Deaton says, while Congress works on stablecoin legislation, let me zoom in here. Yeah, while Congress works on stablecoin legislations and all of crypto faces lawsuits from the SEC, JPMorgan seems to flip the bird to Congress and the SEC with no scrutiny at all. Created a US dollar stablecoin right under your noses. Win lawsuit, Gary Gensler and Hester Pierce. So I'm just going to come up, I think it's like 20 seconds or something right here, and just play it for a second.
Jamie has always loved the blockchain. Jamie has always loved the blockchain. I think at one point in time, he publicly said, God bless the blockchain. I definitely believe in the blockchain. So, he's always been a staunch supporter of us through the entire program. And in fact, that's the reason why we were able to launch JPMorgan Coin. JPMorgan Coin is basically US dollars on blockchain.
Well, there you go. Johnny Deaton he had put up this image here, and it says JPMorgan was working with Consensys from the beginning. Clayton's firm Sullivan and Cromwell represented Consensys, whose deputy GC was hired from Sullivan and Cromwell. August 2020, S&C broker Consensys acquiring JPM Coin. Direct competitor to Ripple and XRP. Clayton voted for Case versus Ripple. #facts. And he put up this screenshot here. You can kind of come in here and take a look at that, pause it and look at that. Continuing down here, there's a lot more information that's been posted by XRP community members, but I wanted to play this one right here. We're going to take a listen into this.
Company Consensys has been very prominent since the start of the Ethereum ecosystem. I can attest that JPMorgan was there right from the start before public mainnet was even launched.
So that's Joe Lubin from Consensys, and he stated right there, JPM's been there from the start since before going public. And that's the Joe Lubin that's been on all these interviews and, gloating and talking about, how they did this and that, and gave that whole spiel about, disguising the purchases during the ICO. So, obviously they know who these Ethereum whales are and, creating multiple identities and utilizing different tactics to avoid, being, I guess, on the radar. So smaller investments, multiple emails, multiple identities. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Moving on here, this is from Digital Asset Investor as well. He's responding to Stefan Huber right here because Stefan Huber had put up something interesting. So this goes, we've talked on this channel a lot about how I feel about this whole accredited investor, I guess you could say, rules. I just can't stand the fact that there's literally these rules or laws set in place that won't allow me, because I'm not an accredited investor, to invest in something like a company startup or certain things that requires you to be an accredited investor. So obviously, you know, they set those rules in place for some particular reason. Quite honestly, it shouldn't apply to everybody. I should literally be able to do what I please with the money that I have left over after, you know, working my butt off to earn the money, to pay my taxes, to pay my monthly bills, to take care of my family, and obviously take care of my savings or whatever. But the little bit of money I have left over, I should be able to do whatever I want with it. When it comes down to me, you know, being able to go to the casino and put it all on black or red, there's no issues there. But I have to be an accredited investor to throw, you know, whatever amount of money I want to at a startup company. It blows my mind. I just can't stand that. Stefan Huber says the SEC and the NSAA agree. Accredited investors should have at least $10 million in assets. People with less assets should lose status and not be allowed to invest in startups and crypto. That is too dangerous for them. Quote, quote, land of the free. So, you know, let me read digital assets first and I'll kind of go on. So he says, digital asset investor says, I think Gary Gensler's ultimate goal was to call all digital assets except Bitcoin and Ethereum securities. That would then allow retail to play in this sandbox. Then he would increase the accredited investors threshold to 10 million, which you would need to invest in all others. So whether that was, you know, Chairman Gensler's and, you know, the rest of his people, whether that was their agenda or, you know, the path that they were taking, the fact that the conversation's even happening is sickening to me, because it's like, if they thought, you know, obviously they didn't expect Johnny Dean and the XRP community and all the other players that are stepping up against them, like, say, you know, none of that was there, and, you know, they were able to literally just regulate by enforcement, you know, step on, put a whole stranglehold and get control of this entire space, and that became a reality. You can't invest in anything outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum because you're not an accredited investor that has 10 million. How crappy is that? That excludes millions and millions of people from even partaking in this new emerging technology. I mean, could you imagine that? Obviously, you're listening to this channel, so you have some sort of investment or interest in this space. So can you imagine not being able to do that? It is absolutely crazy to me. How dare you tell me? How dare you tell me what I can and can't invest in because of my so-called non-accredited investor status? Blows my mind. That's that whole thing, man. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. I mean, I'm not an accredited investor. I mean, even I think it's like 1 million or 2 consecutive years of over 200,000 or 300 as a couple or something. We make great money, but we don't make that kind of money. So it's like, what? I can't invest in anything lucrative. You know, I can't change the financial status of you know, my family situation outside of busting my butt in a career, eating away the hours of my day away from my kids. Like, it just blows my mind. It's crazy. Digital asset investors have put this up. So this is Joe Lubin right here from Consensys. He says, as the crypto industry finally awakens to the fact that the SEC is coming for all of crypto, they need to start asking why this guy is so happy with the job the SEC is doing. So that goes into what I was just saying earlier. It's like, now you're starting to see, you know, people's eyes open, and, you know, now you're starting to see more involvement, like, and more engagement. Like, okay, we really need to get a hold of this. I mean, you've seen it from Congress, you've seen it from oversight hearings. I mean, you've seen it from, you know, certain mainstream medias, and it's starting to finally happen. The point is he's been, you know, literally on video talking about, oh, we're friends with the SEC, and I think they're doing a great job. And it's like, why is he the only one saying that? What does that tell you? Remember, the Ethereum Free Pass timeline, the ETHgate timeline, everything the community has brought together, especially when it comes to Johnny Deaton's Crypto Law US website, it's not in dispute. It's facts. Really think about that. That's crazy. And make sure you go watch Chico Crypto's video from today too on it. He does a great job of talking about some of the points that we've been trying to make within this community. I'm going to end on this these last two right here. So this is from Digital Asset Investor. He's responding to Brad Garlinghouse's tweet here, where he says, and you all thought this day would never come. In all seriousness, looking forward to the lively discussion with, Ryan Selkis at Mainnet to talk about the substantive issues and positive solutions for crypto at large. So we're talking about here. So you got Brad Garlinghouse, Mike Novogratz, I Bet Dimes to Donuts, Christine Moy, Devin Finsner, Keith Grossman, in Bahalash. Sorry about that, brother. And then Digital Asset Investor says, just think about all the things Brad Garlinghouse knows now about the anti-Ripple games that have been played behind the scenes by the Bitcoin and Ethereum maxis. Some of them in this picture. I bet he has a, we'll say, poop-eating grin on his face at this event, and should. Gonna end this one from Blockworks. It says, just in Charles Schwab, $8 trillion in assets under management to list a crypto ETF on the New York Stock Exchange next week. This is huge. That's huge. But that's the update, and that's the conversation that I wanted to have on those topics. Make sure you come to the Crypto's Key Conversation YouTube channel and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto's Key 1. We're really excited to keep bringing you content. I want to thank you for all the support. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.